When I started my sophomore year of high school, my dad had just been elected president of the school board. He asked me if I wanted anyone to know. I immediately said no. I didn't want teachers treating me differently or students thinking I had special privileges. I wanted to be just another kid in class. So we agreed to keep it a secret. Everything was fine, until I took chemistry with Mr. Dalton. From the very first week, it felt like he had something against me. At first it was small things. If I raised my hand, he ignored me. If someone else gave the same answer I had been trying to give, he'd praise them like they just discovered gravity. I told myself I was probably overthinking it. But then the grades started coming in. One of my lab reports came back with AD written across the top. I was shocked. I double-checked everything. My calculations were correct, my explanations were clear, and I even had my friend, who was one of the top students, look it over before turning it in. When I asked Mr. Dalton why I got AD, he shrugged and said, "Some students just don't have a scientific mind." That comment stayed with me. After that, things got worse. He started calling me out in front of the class. If I made the smallest mistake, he'd stop the whole lesson and point it out like I had committed some kind of crime. Meanwhile, his favorite student, Ryan, could mess up an entire experiment and Mr. Dalton would just laugh and say, "That's how we learn." Ryan also happened to be the captain of the football team, and Mr. Dalton clearly loved him. Then came the big science project. We had to design our own experiment and present it to the class. I worked on mine for 3 weeks. I tested everything multiple times and even made graphs and charts to explain my results. When presentation day came, Ryan went before me. His project was okay, but honestly it was pretty basic. Still, Mr. Dalton smiled the whole time. When Ryan finished, Mr. Dalton said, "Excellent work. This is the kind of thinking real scientists have." The class clapped. Then it was my turn. I explained my experiment step by step. I showed my data, answered questions, and even explained where my results could apply in real life. When I finished, the room was quiet. I thought I had done really well. Mr. Dalton crossed his arms and stared at me. Then he said, "This project looks suspiciously advanced for someone like you." The class started whispering. He continued, "I think you copied this from somewhere online." My stomach dropped. I told him I didn't cheat. I told him I had all my notes and drafts if he wanted to see them. He shook his head. "Students who cheat always say the same thing." Then he said the words that made my whole body freeze. "I'm giving this project a 0 and reporting you for academic dishonesty." The room went completely silent. I felt angry, embarrassed, and honestly a little scared. But instead of arguing, I calmly said, "Then I'd like to discuss this with the school board." Mr. Dalton laughed. Actually laughed. He said, "Go ahead. Do you think the school board president has time to deal with every student who gets caught cheating?" That's when I said, "Yeah,